Hello, welcome to the Death Battle Cast. We are some of the cast and crew here at Rooster Teeth.
And Death Battle.
Battle.
More applicable than ever before. I thought you were going to say Death Battle.
Well,
like
no,
you
I say
always do.
Rooster Teeth because we all have different roles in this company that we're a part of. Like Nick is over at the No.
Yeah.
I do literally nothing for Death Battle.
You're gonna be in the RT shorts. We saw you in that little preview. What were you writing on the whiteboard?
I'm sorry, Ashley. Yeah. I just started doing that, and then Ashley made a little graph, and then we put a dip, and then I put a dot to it, and it just made it like the puppy incident or something.
And Sam's doing backwards compatible with Kyle over here.
Yeah.
Literally in the same space, but just throw things around
Same
differently.
TV, same set. It's easy for me. I don't have to leave. Chad and Nick have to drive over here now.
I was looking forward to not having to drive to do this podcast, and then the same exact time that I move over to Stage 5, this show comes here. I didn't benefit from it once.
We bamboozled you.
I did not benefit
This
from it
is
once.
the whole plan all along.
Yep.
I can tell.
And then I'm still here doing Death Battle.
Yep.
Great. We've all been growing as a team, which is great. But as we announced yesterday, the YouTube channel is changing from ScrewAttack to Death Battle, which we will talk about later on.
Before you do that, though, I am very cold, but also, for other reasons, I brought a little throwback.
I made that shirt.
Gosh.
I designed that before I knew anything about Photoshop. I was so proud.
I was trying to decide which of my old shirts to bring
Straighten
today.
your logo.
And
You got a little
chose-
flab on your boob.
I chose this one because it had the fewest amount of deodorant stains on it.
That
There you
shirt's
go.
You didn't
also
need to know
really
that.
awesome. Like,
Yeah.
I always loved that shirt.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, I like He-Man. I want to
Yeah.
do that. And then I remember taking it and like I had to recreate it, so I couldn't use the actual one. You know?
Right. That was always one of my favorite original
Did you
shirts.
just find a very similar or the font and redo the lower part? Or?
I can't remember.
You didn't
I
trace
think-
the letters, did you?
I think I traced some of it and then copied and offset some things. And
It
then,
might have just been throw it into Illustrator, change it up a bit.
Yeah.
Fun.
Who knows?
We kind of did that a lot back in the day.
Yeah.
But real
Yeah.
quick, thank you to our sponsors for this week's episode of Death Battle Cast, Mac Weldon and Robin Hood, both of whom have sponsored us in the past. We're very thankful for them to continue to support the show and the things that we do. More about them later on in the show. We will be talking about ScrewAttack and what's going on with that later on. But before we also need to talk about the first Death Battle of the year.
Woo!
Aquaman vs. Namor just aired. As we're recording this live on Tuesday, it just premiered for first members yesterday and will be on YouTube Wednesday.
So we'll contain spoilers.
Yes.
So
if you haven't
up.
seen it yet,
that
this is
sucks.
going to be a little rough.
I know.
But
I was thinking about
only
that.
first members are watching it live anyway.
So they had
when
a
this
day.
goes up
Yeah, they've had a
tomorrow,
day.
Yeah.
They can watch
it'll
it.
be up at the same time that it's public on YouTube, so it'll be fine. But yeah, if you haven't watched Aquaman vs. Namor, we are going to be spoiling
We're going to be spoiling.
spoiling the winner for that matchup
Here soon.
But I believe we also have some other analysis that you guys were trying to figure out.
Are we really going to go into the butts thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so before we started the broadcast, Sam postulated that there were more butts than
yes.
people in the
I
world.
assumed there would be more butts than people in the world because every single person probably, almost certainly does have a butt. And there have to be at least a few people with multiple butts.
It's a big enough world. I agree.
Yeah,
But Nick, shut up.
But
Nick,
I disagreed from the get-go because there certainly are people who are born without lower halves of their body and that kind of thing. And the thing that really immediately swung me over to my side was the
Conjoined
existence of Siamese twins.
I tried to throw out the PC version
Two
for you first
people.
before you threw that one, but
One butt. Incredible. So
Conjoined twins.
It literally it blew my fucking mind. I did not think about that aspect, and there's definitely more people than butts now. Which is really, if you think about it, it's a better world that way.
There's not enough butts to go around, though. Some people gotta share. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just putting that mental
but
image
yeah,
in your mind.
Some people
Tiki
gotta
Neal
share
in the
their
chat
butt.
is wondering, do animal butts count?
Well, I mean, if you were talking about animals, but like
He said people.
But even then, like, what are you gonna like? Some animals maybe. I don't think animals. There's an animal that generally has like double butt. There probably is. Like animals are
Owls
fucking
kind
weird.
of. They poop out of their
Worms
mouths.
have the two ends.
They're
where
owl
it's like
pellets.
they're male on one end and female on the
Okay,
other.
but that's
Like,
different.
do they have two butts or two not butts? Welcome to the Death Battle Cast. This is this nerdy shit that we talk about clearly.
Yes, the nerdies like butts.
Like butts and how many butts exist in the world. Hey, our years and years of death battle research and practicing this has to be applied somewhere, right?
Yeah, and clearly we found our calling.
Yeah. Like when
Count
we're
the
not
butts.
researching characters, what else do we do with our lives? I don't know.
Count the butts.
Sam's thinking about it right now too.
The butt. Yeah. I mean,
Like you can see.
some people gotta share. Okay.
All right, let's dive into Aquaman versus Namor. Dive into. Okay.
Yeah, that one really made a splash, Ben.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. All right. So as we do with every episode, Nick's just sinking in his chair. As we do with every Death Battle episode when it first airs, we like to do a Q&A here on Death Battle Cast, just to clarify some questions people may have about certain things that are brought up in the episode. So this one should be pretty short so that we can get to the ScrewAttack discussion. But real fast, we've got a question that says, there's a problem with the Atlan scepter feat. Just because Atlantis is classified as a continent in the DC universe does not mean it's larger than Greenland. There is no standard convention for the size of continents. For example, Europe and Asia are considered different continents because of varying cultures, not necessarily size. Doesn't that mean Atlantis could be smaller than Greenland? And this comes from a feat where we talked about Aquaman essentially stops a blow that is strong enough to sink Atlantis. And the thing is that that is somewhat true. Yeah, there is no standard convention to defining what a continent is. However, if it was smaller than Greenland, then it would be considered a microcontinent, which is a thing apparently. But like microcontinents are like little islands and whatnot that are considered separate, like their own separate like cultures and little environments that are divided from the larger continents, but they are still microcontinents, and Atlantis is defined as a continent. So, it's larger than Greenland.
And the continent of Atlantis did contain multiple major cities that are also underwater.
I believe
like,
so,
city
yeah.
tribes.
Yeah,
as
like,
well, that
I
broke
always
off
thought
when
Atlantis-
he originally sunk it.
You always think of Atlantis as just like a city.
The city, right? Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even in mythology, it was a continent.
Yeah.
It's a lost continent that was just in the middle of the Pacific, basically.
And I think in the DC it had 7 major cities, and they like I think one dies and the other ones sink off into the ocean at different places and become their own like other Atlantis.
It's a little, the definitions of how Atlantis works in both DC and Marvel are a little like skewed all over the place. There was a recent Namor comic that was kind of about his origin, where Atlantis was just like right off the coast. You just like jump in the water, you swim for a couple minutes, bam, you're at Atlantis. It's like, how did nobody
It's
find
amazing
this?
that no one's found this.
There's like an oil rig that's planted right on top of it. It's like, how do they not see this?
Well, clearly it's disguised, Ben. Why would you
it's
go?
not.
Why would you go check it out? There's an oil rig.
Oh, right. That was, yeah.
They're not going to look
How
there.
disappointing would that be? You find out this oil rig out in the middle of the ocean. That's Atlantis.
Yep. There
That's
you go.
it.
All right, second question. Did you guys forget to add the fight graphics and sound effects to the battle? Because some people noticed, actually a lot of people noticed that fight did not come in at the beginning of the battle. This is actually something we're removing from the format of the show. Just the fight, not the KO. Specifically because, and this is something we've talked about for a while, like internally, having the fight graphic was kind of a limitation that we would sometimes run into complications when writing the fights. Because basically that meant every single fight had to have like a face-off moment.
Yeah.
Where both characters were on screen facing each other, just not doing anything. And you may have noticed like the last year or two, we did a lot of those like slow motion moments where characters would like run at each other, then the fight graphic would come in, then they would hit. And we didn't want that to just become like every fight looks the same sort of thing. And this will definitely become really apparent when the first 3D fight of the year drops. Can't spoil what it is, but because of the way that battle is set up, the fight graphic would have just felt really weird in it.
It would have been, it would have been really weird.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like, there's like 3 birds and it's like, fight. And you're like, what's going on? Where?
Now people are like, birds? They're going like,
Birds has literally nothing to do with it. Like,
Well, there is a bird actually, but well, you know, that'll be later on in the year. So yes, that was intentional, and as more episodes come out, it'll start making more sense why we're no longer doing that. Next question: why didn't Topo, your favorite, Aquaman character, or Giganto appear in the battle animation? So these are the giant creatures that Namor and Aquaman are familiar with or control. That would have been really cool, and we did talk about that quite a bit, having a giant squid monster versus a giant whale with arms. Like, that's crazy awesome. But at the same time, this was a battle between Aquaman and Namor, not necessarily two kaijus. And
wanted to keep it focused.
we wanted to keep it focused, and if we had included those two, that would have been a lot. Like, this kind of animation, just having a bunch of fish all over the place is already a lot of time-consuming work. And if we were also to include the kaijus, essentially what we would be sacrificing is time with Aquaman and Namor themselves. So it was we kind of had to decide between those two things. Do we see Aquaman and Namor fighting like on the beach? Do we see their powers? Or do we have a kaiju battle while they're kind of in the background? And that just kind of came down to a time constraint, as you know, a lot of these death battle animations do. But you know, having a kaiju fight like that sounds really awesome. Maybe we'll do something like that later this year, or maybe not. We'll see. If Namor can resist the Purple Man, as you said, why did Aquaman's telepathy defeat him in the battle? And I want to clarify this a little bit. Well, first of all, Aquaman's telepathy is like super powerful. It's capable of sending messages and controlling fish from like all over the world, like all at once. So it is crazy powerful. But it wasn't necessarily that Aquaman's telepathy defeated him. In fact, it didn't. In the fight, Namor does resist it. Like, he doesn't fall over, like having a hemorrhage or anything like that. Essentially, why we brought that up, and we mentioned this in the recap, is that the fact that Aquaman's telepathy can affect Namor in that way and other people in that way that Namor's can't is one of the many factors why we decided that Aquaman's telepathy is stronger. And therefore, when that inevitable moment happens where both of them are trying to control fish in the ocean, Aquaman will be able to control them more than Namor. And that was the main goal there, or the main thing there. And plus, when Aquaman does it, for some reason, it turns all the fish way stronger. Yeah, because of the clear, the blue, his speed force. Like, every character in the DC universe has a speed force of some kind. Except for, ironically, like the main three, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, when they do cool shit,
well, Batman's his sorrow.
they're just fucking awesome. Everybody else has some excuse.
Batman's his money.
Wonder Woman also has like the powers of like Hermes and that kind of shit. And
Yeah, I suppose. But, like,
Batman can tap into his money supply anytime.
That's true.
That's really
The cash force.
There's really the point of Batman is there's nothing money can't match.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, we're getting close to the end of this. I promise we'll get into the ScrewAttack conversation very soon. Question number 5. You just gave Aquaman the win because of his recent movie, didn't you?
Yeah, totally. That's
definitely how
do.
that's how this works.
I can't tell you how many times we've said we would love to be paid for these kinds of things.
Oh yeah,
Not because like
that'd be
Warner
a fat
Brothers
integration. Like
yeah,
juicy money. Juicy.
but you know what? Like
no, we've been approached multiple times, not from like randomly like who cares? Who really out there like would care? Like, oh, I've heard that this thing is happening. We better pay them so our character wins. Or like we have.
We've had the
whole
weirdest
purpose
ones, like Candy and stuff. Like,
Come to us and be like, what was it? We've talked about this before on the cast. I think you talked about how there was some pizza company who came to us to make a pizza
sausage versus pepperoni, and I was like, hell no, never in a million years. Yeah, there's been some of those, but like I mean, every time we talk with like a sponsor, the first thing we say is like, hey, heads up, like we have to have full creative control because like we decide who wins based on the analysis, and like
Yep.
you will have no control over that.
Yeah.
So
We do sometimes release episodes with certain characters around a similar time that their movie might be coming out, or some media content of them might be coming out, because that's when a lot of interest in those characters comes up.
Yep.
So Aquaman has been a much higher requested character recently because the movie has been coming up. Throughout all of last year, the Aquaman requests just went
Yeah,
through the roof
and
because
that's
everybody's
not-
hyped for the movie.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's just like SEO, search engine optimization, is like what we're doing. 'Cause,
that's
yeah,
about as gaming the system as we get. It's
Yeah,
releasing
like, we
something
understand
around the time of a movie,
popularity
just so we
and
can
shit.
have Aquaman in the title, and then people are searching for Aquaman, and they might come across our video.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the same time, like, you can look at it as gaming the system, but it's also, that's what a lot of people want to see at this time. You know, like a year from now, people aren't going to be as invested in Aquaman, maybe.
Oh, yeah, for
so now's the time to do it because this is what people want to see right now. And that's kind of the thought process there. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win. Like, just last year when the Venom movie was coming out, we did Carnage versus Lucy. And spoilers, didn't fare too well for Carnage.
This
So
is ridiculous.
yeah. All right. Next question. How come Aquaman's? This is really funny. This is the most important question of the night.
Okay.
How come Aquaman says "Have at 'em, boys" to the anglerfish when only female anglerfish have the glowy light thingies?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Whoops.
That's it. We
All right.
fucked up, y'all.
Yeah, you know, formal apology. We screwed that one up.
We're frauds, guys.
Like, yeah,
We
I guess.
didn't know that much about fish. Didn't think to look into anglerfish. We were just like, anglerfish.
That was like the last thing added
Those are
to the
cool.
fight
Like,
script.
yeah.
Like, because we always had this. We always wanted an ending where
funny.
Aquaman and Namor were fighting over fish, and then somebody took control of the fish, and they helped kill the opponent. And we were going through a bunch of different ideas of like, well, it could be swarms of fish, and then they're like pushing back and forth.
I threw out devilfish because those things are monsters.
Yeah, and my issue was that I couldn't. A lot of the ideas that were being thrown out, I was trying to visualize how it was going to look, and it just didn't seem like epic enough or cool enough to me. And then near the end of the writing phase, I can't remember who brought it up, but somebody was like, "What about anglerfish?" And I was like, "Oh, and the lights could be going off and on. It could be this really cool little like ending sequence." And yeah, it was like the very last thing we came up with, so nobody bothered to look up whether or not anything about anglerfish. Was just like, whatever. It doesn't really matter in the context of like the analysis. There's just some cool fish at the end to help tear them apart. Yeah. So whoops.
I love that. Like, you got us. Who was that? Who said that?
It was a bunch of first members. There was quite
Really?
a few.
Oh.
You can just look at the.
Who knew
the
so many
comments.
pro anglerfish knowledge people?
I
would
took
be in the comments.
aqua science in high school too.
Hold the fuck on.
So like,
Aqua science?
that was a real thing. I got to choose that or like something else. And I remember aqua science I thought was gonna be more fun, but instead it was just like memorize the name of every fish ever.
Oh.
It was
Jeez.
a lot.
Okay, and then last thing before we talk about ScrewAttack is announcing the next fight. The next episode that we are doing, and we have a thumbnail we can bring up, is the Mega Man Battle Royale.
Poor Luis.
I just checked out the nearly complete version of the fight, and it looks freaking awesome. I'm so glad that this has turned out as well as it did, because it's 5 characters. 5 Mega
Yeah,
Men.
there's a lot going
Dude.
on there.
A bunch of blue boys fighting each other. Like, just when this idea was thrown out, we were thinking, okay, 5 characters is a lot. Also, a lot of them look the same, so we got to make sure we don't confuse. Like,
And then they're going to be changing
there-
colors constantly.
there was going to be an inevitable moment where an animator put the wrong Mega Man into the wrong spot because they thought it was the other Mega Man, and that did happen once or twice, but it was quickly caught. But yeah, I'm super excited to share this episode with you guys. The Mega Men that we are using are the original classic Mega Man X, Mega Man.exe from Battle Network, Mega Man Volnut from the Legend series, and Star Force Mega Man from Mega Man Star Force.
A lot of Mega Man.
Why these 5? We'll talk about this a little more, in future episodes, but mainly it was because they're in Mega Man's Final Smash. in Smash Brothers.
And we're like, there we go.
Well, we'll talk about that more in future episodes of Death Battle Cast because there's more to it than just that. But like that was kind of the selling factor for me.
It's gonna be a long episode.
Not really. I mean, maybe a little bit longer than normal because we are covering 5 characters, but I think we've structured it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it took us a bit in the booth. I remember.
Yeah. Well,
There's a lot to cover.
there's a lot to cover, and it's a lot more numbers than normal because we're talking about 5 characters. So it's a complicated script written by Liam, who wrote another Mega Man themed episode, Ultron versus Sigma. The second episode ever, and he's just making these Mega
Staying
Man
on
ones.
franchise. Yeah.
Yeah, but he did a fantastic job with this one. So we're very excited to see more from Liam as this year goes on. But yeah, that wraps up Death Battle questions, Q&A.
Thanks for watching the season premiere.
Yes, this season is going to be. Last season I consider to be our best season yet. So we are doing everything we can to up the ante and make season 6 even better than that, which is going to be tough.
Trying to make a splash.
No.
I did that one
No.
earlier.
That was already
I know,
done.
it was trash. Don't worry about it.
What? You just
I
did
just
the
had to
same
add
thing.
something. I know.
I'm just happy that my pun wasn't the worst thing.
Jesus.
Today, so it's all good. Anyway,
Just
Chad,
drowning over there.
do you want to talk a little bit about underwear?
I would love to talk a little bit over there because there's more than just that.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about Mac Weldon as soon as I pull it back up. There we go. Mac Weldon believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping, making it the most comfortable underwear, socks, shirts, undershirts, hoodies, and sweatpants, and more that you will ever wear. They have a line of silver underwear and shirts that are naturally antimicrobial, which means they eliminate odor. I have one of these shirts at home. It's super great. It's really, really comfortable, and it's great for, like, I wear it sometimes when I go out and, jog, whenever I can actually muster up that motivation. They want you to be comfortable, so if you don't like your first pair, you can keep it, and they will still refund you, no questions asked. Not only does Mac Weldon's underwear, socks, and shirts look good, they perform well too. It's good for working out, like I just mentioned, going to work, going out on dates, everyday life. So, like I said, I've gotten a chance to check out their products. It's great. It's super convenient. I love when things are delivered to me so that I don't have to go out and acquire them. And yeah, they're super comfy, and the antimicrobial stuff in the silver line is really interesting because it really, it does. You don't stink as much, and that's nice. Especially when you're doing, heavy action stuff. You can, whatever. There's a lot.
Actions.
That can apply to anything. So for 20% off your first order, visit macweldon.com and enter promo code CAST at checkout. That's macweldon.com and use the promo code CAST, C-A-S-T, for 20% off on your first order. Mac Weldon. Go check them out, guys. Like I said, if you don't like it, then you get to keep the first pair, and you basically got something for free. So go try it. Thanks.
I totally forgot. I was going to wear my Mac Weldons today.
Were you going to show
I was going
everyone?
to show them off. No, I probably shouldn't do that. Anyway.
Okay.
I have a couple of their shirts. Damn, they're comfy.
I know, they're really
like
comfortable.
every time I put them on, I'm like, yo.
They're real soft.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
mad
they're real
soft.
nice. All right, time to talk about what's going on. With ScrewAttack.
Yep.
Okay. So yesterday, I'm sure everybody watching this has seen, and if you haven't, we can just do a quick recap. We released a short little video basically announcing that the YouTube channel, ScrewAttack YouTube channel, is rebranding as the Death Battle channel.
Yep.
And with that, the channel is being restructured a little bit. Knock over my mic. Being restructured a little bit to focus on Death Battle, and all the old ScrewAttack videos from ages gone by will be collected on roosterteeth.com from here on out. So it's a little complicated, like why all this is happening, but I do want to clear up one big misconception that I saw some people get a little confused about yesterday. ScrewAttack is not closing. We are not. ScrewAttack as a company is not ending. We're not all losing our jobs. The doors haven't been shut. We're still here. We're still doing things. And honestly, the ScrewAttack company hasn't really existed as a company for a while. It's been a division of Rooster Teeth Animation, which a couple of us, Sam and I, are technically a part of.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you guys are over there with Rooster Teeth and the No. So it's not like the company is necessarily shutting down because we are all still here.
Well, no,
We're doing the
it's-
same thing we were doing
It's
yesterday.
literally like if Chad changed his name to Ted,
Yeah,
and then people
basically.
were like, "Rip Chad, forever missed." I'm like, Ted's right here.
Yeah.
I mean, what is kind of happening is the retirement of the Bolt.
Yeah.
That is what is.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
and
the main
also,
thing.
so there's a few reasons. So, I mean, looking at the content that we made, we've been pretty open about like focusing in on the Death Battle brand because that is what the majority of our subscribers is here for, and just also the nature of YouTube and its ever-changing, crazy algorithm landscape. Like,
Yeah.
it's more beneficial for us to be known as the Death Battle channel, and because there's a little like I would notice some confusion too at times. Like, we'd bring in like other like YouTubers and stuff. They'd be given a tour of the office, and then people would be like, oh yeah, and so like, and this is ScrewAttack, and they're like, oh, I don't know, and they make a show called Death Battle. And they're like, oh, Death Battle, cool. Like, so there's already like, for the content that we're making on the channel, we might as well just be Death Battle. It'll be better for search engine optimization. It's a better representation of the content that we're making.
YouTube will play nice with us a lot more. Like,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
a lot
it-
of aspects to it that are very beneficial in that sense. And it's as simple as like, the name's changed, but it helps us do a lot of things and makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
It's kind of a similar reason as why top tens were moved to the no, because the way YouTube is structured is there are a couple different things that happen behind the scenes, behind the screen of YouTube that help promote episodes of shows and get them in front of people. And the two main factors are generally watch time, how much people watch, and click-throughs, which
Yeah.
is how, like, when a person watches a video, what is the next thing that they click on? Do they click on a video that is part of that channel? Do they click on a video that's part of another channel? Or do they click away from YouTube? If they click away from YouTube, YouTube might as well be saying, fuck you, this
Yeah.
channel doesn't matter. So, and top tens was moved to the no because there's more click-through opportunities with their content because it kind of lines up a bit better with Death Battle.
Yeah, and also the algorithm like thinks it knows better on what people want to watch. So when we have a show that is like a internet miracle, the Death Battle is, where like it gets millions of views. That's not easy to make other shows that do that.
Exactly.
Right?
Well,
So,
exactly.
like,
That's why
so
the
when
click-throughs are so important, because what YouTube sees when top 10 doesn't click through to Death Battle is that, oh, top 10 doesn't matter.
Right.
Fuck it. We're not going to share it with anybody. It might as well. Nick puts in all this work to make these episodes. Doesn't matter. Close it down.
Yeah.
So moving
YouTube
it to
is
the
a
no,
fickle beast.
Yeah.
moving it to the no is meant to help Nick's show benefit, to help it improve, and a similar idea is going into this change for the channel. Having all this backlog content is just confusing the YouTube algorithm. It doesn't know what we're doing. We got all this other stuff. What is this?
Yeah, that's something that is kind of a theory that we're testing, because like in talking with this, we're getting to like super YouTube talk, but
But that's what this is.
yeah, I know.
And
like-
I want to be transparent about that, because
yeah,
this is a complicated kind of mess that we just have to kind of trudge through.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that does mean changing the YouTube to Death Battle.
Right. And so essentially the big metric that YouTube likes is watch time per impression. So it's everything that's served up for everybody. They're constantly seeing, hey, this many people saw this video and how many people then actually engaged and clicked onto it. And so one of the things that we were talking about with the programming team is just like, well, does that mean if we have like a huge backlog of content that isn't being clicked on because it's a whole different time and like whatever, like could that be like weighing our channel down? Could that be penalizing us? And so that was one of the things that we wanted to try, was seeing what it would look like if we privated all those videos and just kind of see how it goes on the channel. But then, the other thing was making sure that we didn't just like remove it all. Obviously, like
Exactly.
ScrewAttack's a huge part of our history, and we've all got a lot of nostalgia, and there's a lot of fun tied to that. And that's what's great about the fact that, while ScrewAttack, I guess Death Battle now, is a very, very, very much a largely based in YouTube brand, we do have the ability, that we have an awesome parent company at Rooster Teeth that, we have this other platform that we can keep all of our stuff on. So that's why, like, if you guys are looking for old ScrewAttack videos and things like that, they're all archived over on Rooster Teeth. You just go into the ScrewAttack tab, and you can search through and find all those videos, like Nick getting pied in the face dressed as a clown, or me getting hit so hard in the nuts I couldn't move for like a couple hours. Sam dressing up in drag, or maybe eating a bunch of gummy bears.
Yeah.
Me dying to salsa.
Yeah, there you go.
And part of that is we have, by making sure that it's all archived on Rooster Teeth, we have a lot more control over it too. Like, YouTube has control over what it shows, and like they could just decide to delete a channel if they had a reason for it.
Yep.
So by having all of the ScrewAttack content on Rooster Teeth, we control how it's presented. We control whether or not it exists, which is great because, you know, internet archival purposes, like archiving internet content is something that a lot of people are still trying to figure out because it's going to be kind of a drastic thing in the future where a lot of content is just going to be lost because it was digital, internet only, or it belonged on, you know, as an individual hosting player that died. Remember Blip?
Blip. That's what I was just about to say.
Like we were on Blip for a while. Thankfully, we got off that shit before it crashed and drowned everybody on it. But I mean, that's what happened.
It was just a blip in history.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people who were like dead set on Blip are pissed off about what happened to them, and it affected them for a long time. But you know, that was a ways back. But something like what happened to Blip could happen to any hosting channel.
Well, yeah, and also like YouTube's constantly making policy changes and things like that. And so imagine the thought of having almost 13 years of content that's just there. Especially when we were producing something every single day, and sometimes multiples a day, and then it's just like going back, like that's from all the way back to like 2006, and so then it's just like, God, what's on that channel? Like, you know, like if there's a policy change that says like, oh, anything with foul language or whatever, like they could do literally anything, could make a change, and then we could get 1 million strikes against our channel. And that would be a nightmare to deal with. So, like, it just makes sense.
I have a hunch that there will be other channels that do a similar purge of, like, really old content.
Yep.
Because this looks like it's the way YouTube is going to go. And, yeah, I bet there will be other channels that are kind of similar that have, you know, 13, 15-year-old backlog of just stuff. And a lot of it is, like, it doesn't represent where they are currently, whether it's like quality or like the actual content, and they're going to be like, all right, let's just archive that somewhere else and just keep this channel like nice and shiny and pretty and concise. Like making your channel concise is kind of the new thing. And it like name a channel that does like 12 different fucking things and is crushing it right now. You know, they aren't there anymore. Like every channel is like Bon Appetit and we are food. And we do not do anything but food stuff. And, like, you know, every channel has its thing, and that's what they do, and they don't get to do a whole bunch of things because of the way YouTube plays right now.
I have some questions for us to answer from you guys after we post the video. We'll get to that in a bit. One of them was about variety. And, yeah, when YouTube started, it was easy to see a YouTube channel as almost like a TV channel where you could have a variety of different content and keep people coming back. Nowadays, doesn't really work that way. A YouTube channel is almost, it might as well just be a show channel for a lot of people. And that's why a lot of creators have multiple channels.
Yeah, you see a lot of bigger brands doing that too, like where they have, each show has its own channel essentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the question is mainly like, do we feel like we're backing ourselves into a corner? And I see some people in chat talking about it as well. Are we backing ourselves into a corner creatively by just focusing on Death Battle with this? And the short answer to that is absolutely not, because we're part of Rooster Teeth.
Yep.
This is a massive family with a bunch of different channels and
outlets.
Both on YouTube, on Rooster Teeth itself, and elsewhere. Like, this company makes movies.
Yeah, we've made feature films. We know, like, many, like, there's been talks about shopping things for television. There's a lot of opportunities for us. And so, like, you know, and that isn't to say, like, hey, maybe there will be another show that comes up on the Death Battle channel. It'll probably be Death Battle related.
Yes.
But
we do have plans.
Right. So we still, like,
plans.
it's not that this is just the fate of the channel and this is just the content you're going to get forever. Like, there's still opportunity for us to expand upon that and maybe serve some other stuff that the algorithm likes and that people want to watch.
Yeah. I mean, all of us have ideas for new Death Battle content. It's just, you don't expect to see a Let's Play here.
Yeah, and then outside of that, like Ben said, you know, we work for Rooster Teeth. We're down here. We got moved to Austin, so it's like super easy for us to, you know, if we ever got a good show idea and people like it, we can get it made. It just will live on Rooster Teeth.
Yeah. So just real quick to go over the plan, like what's happening to the ScrewAttack brand, the channel, and everything about that. So there are a couple stages to this. The first is what's happened. We are changing the ScrewAttack name on the channel to Death Battle, and we are privating a lot of the older content and moving it all onto Rooster Teeth. And you can watch it on Verve too. So it's all accessible there, so that nothing is lost. We are keeping the ScrewAttack channel on Rooster Teeth for a month. Everything will be organized under ScrewAttack there, so that the brand still exists in a way there. But after a month, that will be removed, and what's going to happen is sometime this year, we don't have an exact date just yet, but sometime this year, playlists will be introduced to the Rooster Teeth website. And the plan is to just organize all the ScrewAttack content into these playlists so that it is easy to find individual content. Basically, just make it super easy to find whatever old content that you want to go back and revisit.
Examples, there should be a playlist for like side scores,
Clip of the week.
Yes.
and all that kind of stuff, and top 10. So you should be able to the archive should be organized in a nice little neat way where you're like, I'm feeling this show. You can go get on the playlist.
Yep.
Absolutely. And that is the overall outlook right now. So the ScrewAttack name is I think you mentioned on Reddit, actually. You said something really
Yeah,
that kind of made a lot of sense about it. You said
how-
that it went into hibernation.
Yeah, it's not dead. It's just resting or something like that. Like, yeah,
Put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
Right now, it's unfortunately not really serving any purpose, but we don't want to get rid of it entirely. So,
Yeah.
maybe in the future, there will be an opportunity for ScrewAttack to return to form. We can't promise anything, unfortunately, but, it's still there. Still something that's in our heads.
I think in some time it presents a perfect opportunity to do something very silly. I will always it is a great thing to have. Is like, I have a really dumb, crazy idea that might work. So
I mean, that's kind of what ScrewAttack embodied.
Yeah. So I think ScrewAttack is now just like a dormant opportunity in my mind, is what it is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And meanwhile, the other thing you mentioned on the Reddit post is that the ScrewAttack vibes still exist as we're all, going to different aspects of Rooster Teeth.
Oh, yeah,
and
for
bringing
sure.
that element into this company. So, and a lot of us have like huge parts of these different departments in this company, which is crazy.
We have
Like-
successfully assimilated ourselves inside company.
We're like infiltrating,
one
and one
day.
day we're all gonna like call each other up and be like, activate the ScrewAttack button.
The
Just-
sleeper agent. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for somebody to tell me to execute Order 66, and I'm just going to stab whoever's next to me.
That's a much darker plan than I had, but
Don't do it now.
Oh. Well, no one's called me and said execute Order 66 yet.
Heinz will be the one that calls you. Don't worry, I can tell you that much.
All right, so real quick, let's go through some of the questions people had about this. Question 1. Was this seriously done just because a few people made sarcastic comments about us changing the channel name?
No, that
it
was just
it
a
was
fun-
a YouTube thing. Like,
Yeah, that was just a fun, dumb idea that I.
Yeah, we wanted to announce this in a very ScrewAttack way, I would say. Not like a super down or anything, just like keep spirits up. And no, we've been talking about this for quite some time. It was not a decision made easily,
Yep.
for sure. Next question. Didn't you already have a Death Battle channel? Why make another one? So
I saw a lot of those.
there were a couple people talking about this. No, we never made an individual Death Battle channel. What I think happened is somebody else decided to make a fake Death Battle YouTube account, and Rooster Teeth shut that shit down.
Yeah,
So-
or maybe they're talking about way back when we were on Revision 3.
I don't think that's what the other thing
Okay.
that this might be talking about is the Death Battle Twitter, which existed also quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Which is no longer active. But yeah, if you do see an account that claims to be a Death Battle account that's not ours, it's not ours. It's not the real thing. So yeah, this is a unique new Death Battle channel, never existed before. Question 3. It's not like HBO is changing its name to Game of Thrones or Sega is changing its name to Sonic, so how does this make any sense? I mean, we kind of covered that already a
Yeah, we
bit.
already covered that.
But yeah, it's that goes into the whole idea that YouTube is more about shows than
Right.
variety on the channels and whatnot. And same question here, why not make a new channel named ScrewAttack or a new ScrewAttack channel? Some of us don't want to go to a website, so you're just losing money and audience. Which the answer to that is, well, the reason why we're doing this is because the way it was set up was already losing us money and audience.
And
So-
we're not making that style of content anymore. So like, I mean, if you really want to watch it, then we made sure that it's there, and you can do that. But like, we're gonna get like, this isn't changing the content that we're producing. We're still producing the same content that we have been for the past like 2 years.
Also, I know this is going to be a mildly unpopular opinion, but if you like our content so much that you're not willing to just go to a .com, you don't like our content that much. And like, it's cool, bro. Like, that's fine. Like, but literally, if you can't go roosterteeth.com and watch it there, like, it wasn't that important.
And it wasn't
to you.
bothering
Like,
you that much.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, big loss for you. Like, I don't know, it's fine. Like, it's just on a website. Like,
I typed in roosterteeth.com once and then saved it to my bookmarks. So then I
Yeah.
don't have to do that crap again.
I
I just click a button.
See, I just put an
It's
R
so
in,
easy.
and it's like, I got you, dog. I'm like, thanks, Google.
Enter,
Like,
yeah.
like, that's fine.
Let's make your homepage.
Question 5: how will this affect Game Attack?
Not at all.
Not at all.
There's a separate
Yeah.
entity entirely.
Yeah.
And this goes into the next question: do you think Rooster Teeth made a mistake in having Game Attack split from ScrewAttack? And this was a thing that I saw some people talking about, the idea that Rooster Teeth made Game Attack
That's interesting.
split off. And that's not the case at all.
Nope.
No.
Game Attack's creation and it going independent was Craig's prerogative. Like, they decided to do that. So,
Yeah, we talked about it forever. That problem we had on our channel, that we were still trying to maintain this like older content that we used to make, like that we got known for, but then
Yeah.
the vast majority of people
Game
were there for
Attack.
the death battle content. So we'd had multiple conversations about potentially doing a channel split.
The
and so-
original Game Attack videos were on the ScrewAttack channel, and that alongside Death Battle, like, they weren't helping each other. If
Right.
anything, they were hurting each other being on the same channel, because YouTube is a weird monster. And so, yeah, like, I mean, that was why that decision was made.
Yep. So Craig went off and did that, and he and Bolin and Brian initially, and yeah,
And Parker and
Yep.
yeah.
And then they've been off doing their thing. Like, that was a whole 100% their decision. So.
and then the next question is something really interesting that somebody brought up. That kind of ties to the, like, whether or not we're backing ourselves into a corner idea. And this is very personal for probably some of you, but not everybody. As a budding content creator, I've been told that it's important to make a variety of content. But by example, you're limiting your own content. What should I make of that?
Oh, so here's a great example. Trying a bunch of different things and just doing whatever you want, and as long as you're passionate and great, that's awesome when you're trying to start a YouTube channel. And then you find your thing. And then when you found your thing, and that's the thing you need to then focus in on.
I think it's like literally like art. If you want to be an artist, but you don't know what kind, you're like, I'm going to fuck with some clay. I'm going to paint a painting. And then you're like, oh, this one's fucking dope. And then you get really good at that one and you do that one. Like,
yeah, I mean,
you know, maybe you dabble in some other shit, but like, that's kind of how it works.
Yeah, there's a weird balance to it, because there are plenty of YouTube creators who did find their thing and now they're kind of stuck with it. And they don't really want to be stuck with it. So we are in, I would say it's a little hard for me to say, look at us currently as an example to draw from in that regard, because we are part of a larger company. We are part of Rooster Teeth, which means that even though we are limiting the content on this one channel, we still have a lot of different opportunities across the company. No, RT Shorts, backwards compatible,
and
etc.
We as people aren't limited by our
Right.
channel whatsoever.
Whereas a single YouTube channel, you know, there's the idea that you just throw stuff at the wall until it sticks, and you'll find that one thing that sticks, and then you might get stuck with that forever, but that will become your big thing. And that is definitely one way to go about it. Like, that's kind of how ScrewAttack was for the longest time. Throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks was basically our company motto.
Yep.
Like,
Oh, shit, yeah. I mean, we would try like 5 or 6 new shows a year probably.
yeah.
yeah.
And most of the time, all of them would be done by the end of the year. Like, we tried a ton of shit. Yeah.
But also, like, it's not a bad thing if you have a tremendous success. That's the thing. I understand, like, as creative people, you want to be trying new things, and it can feel a little frustrating when you're like, oh, but this is the thing that I need to do. But, like, I'm so thankful for Death Battle. Like, it is a miracle. It is an internet miracle. Like, that this took off the way it did. It's provided all of us with secure jobs and the ability to, you know, be creative and to do all these things. And, like, I'm incredibly thankful and appreciative for that. And it's, like, not something to be taken lightly.
Yeah. I would just say, with that idea in mind, you know, creating a variety of content until something really sticks. it's hard to be prepared for when that thing does stick, but when it does, start thinking about what it means for you in the future and whether or not this is something you really want to focus on.
It really depends on what kind of content you're making. Like if you're like a personality-based Let's Player, your audience is probably there for the way your personality interacts with them, not necessarily the content that's on screen.
Right.
And so that changes the aspect a lot. It's not like in that scenario you can only play one video game one way. It's like, no, like they're there to see your personality and shit. Like it really depends on what kind of content you're
Whether
making.
you're
Like there's so much variety. It's like the wild west of content creation, and there's like 1,000 different ways to do everything. So you never know. It's what your audience is there for.
Yep.
And like, you just gotta.
Yeah, you look at
find
those
out
YouTube
that.
channels that are individual people.
Yeah,
You know, like the Paul brothers are the main, like the big example. Regardless of what you think about them, like they could do whatever the heck they want because their show is just their personality.
Yep.
Whereas our show is like a formatted show.
Yep.
That
So
could be on TV, maybe, hopefully, probably not. Question number 9: will Extra Life still feature the ScrewAttack game show?
We'll
Chad's
see.
baby.
We look at that every year. I mean, I'm definitely heavily involved in Extra Life, and so I know we'll be putting on some stuff.
But whether or not the ScrewAttack name exists is not going to affect directly whether or not that happens.
Oh, right, not at all. Yeah, like if I do the game show again, this coming year, it's still I'm gonna go through it the same exact way I always do.
Can we call it the Chad James game show?
No. No.
The Chad Games show?
Oh God.
There we go. We go. That's good.
Got him.
I mean, it's got to be that now.
Yeah, this won't affect anything. Like, I mean, every year we talk like this year we're like, are we gonna do the game show again? Okay, yeah, let's do it this way. But then I thought about it this year, and I was like, oh, for next year, I'm like, I want to brainstorm some stuff. Like, what are some alternate things I can do? Maybe we'll still do the game show, but like, or maybe there's something else fun and give it a rest for a year or whatever. But I just
twist to it. Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that out there that if for any reason the game show is not there at Extra Life, it had nothing to do with this.
Yep. And you had already kind of talked about this a bit. Do you regret Death Battle existing?
Oh yeah, no, not at all. I mean,
do you think like the jobs I don't know, like we have food and like I don't know, the job, like do you think like reading comics and shit's a bad job? Like I don't know. It's like one of the dopest things you could do as a job. It's still silly sometimes describing the job to people. It's still, they're like, that's a job? And I'm like, fuck yes, it's awesome. Like, it's fucking dope. Like, I mean, there's absolutely frustrating job moments of some days, but in general, it's a fucking badass job. Like, it's really good.
Well, do you think ScrewAttack would have survived this long without it?
No.
probably not. I don't know.
Not employing 10 to 12 people, like as a smaller channel, maybe, but there wouldn't have been all of us doing everything we did.
We would have all
without it.
dropped off at some point.
Absolutely.
I think because like if it stayed the way it was, if it couldn't grow, then it wouldn't be able to foster us.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't Death Battle, it would have been something else. You know what I mean? There would have had to have been something else that really took off to get us where we are. Because I mean, it's the reason that we were acquired. Like, yeah, it was a huge contributing factor. I mean, I don't know. That's like trying to predict the future. It's like, I can't say. I mean, like, we all loved it. And we were all pouring our heart and souls into ScrewAttack, and we would have continued to do so. I don't know. Like, luckily, Death Battle happened and became this crazy, huge thing. But we definitely wouldn't be where we are right now if it weren't for Death Battle. Good job, man.
Oh, thank you. No, I mean, I don't think Death Battle would have gotten to the point where it was right now without all of you guys and the rest of the team. Because the reason why it is worthy of becoming a channel is because it is a team of people who makes the show. And I'm very proud of that. And last but not least, Nick, will you ever dress as Aladdin?
Give me the monkey and I'll do it. That was part of the deal.
That damn monkey.
That's true. I forgot about that shit.
At 2.75 million subscribers, we're past 4 now. I was supposed to dress up as Aladdin and have a monkey.
Yeah.
It's long overdue. And it's mainly
I don't even
Chad's
work
fault.
here anymore.
It's not my fault.
I'm pretty sure you were supposed to get the monkey.
I can't remember if it was me or Craig who threw it out there. So I'm
Austin would
saying that.
know.
Austin probably does know.
Yeah.
I just
Get
remember you were
Austin.
like, there's this website. You can rent monkeys. You can rent Sinbad if you want. Like,
Yeah, you could. Yeah, that shit was wild.
I'm doing it only if
Fucking-
there's a monkey involved and I get
Yeah.
to hang out with a monkey.
let's put
I
it up
mean,
on
how
How
social.
about the Chad Games Show, hosted by Aladdin?
With Abu.
That doesn't make any sense.
Hosted by Chad Games and Aladdin. I don't know.
God, Chad Games. Ugh.
Chad Games is an absolute banger. You have to use it.
Just imagine the logo. It's this Chad James show, and then there's like a scribble on the
Yeah,
J,
James.
and then there's just like a crayon G.
Yes, I like it.
There's my new Twitter handle name. Sam, we probably have to
Yeah,
do
we
that.
have to. Well, I mean, we don't have to, but like, I don't know. I'm probably gonna change mine, get it in line.
I'm probably gonna change mine too, but then I thought about the sheer amount of videos that my Twitter handle is in, and I was just like,
Well, yeah, like we have to
just-
change the lower third and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
well,
yeah.
I changed mine like a year and a half ago. Just make sure that you still have the old one.
Oh, I forgot to do that. My old one is some like spam bot account now.
Oh no!
Really?
Something already like snatched it up.
So what, you
but
just
whatever.
change the name and then you go create a new account that was your old name?
Yeah,
Got it.
just create a new account because you can change it afterwards. Just create a new account, do whatever.
Just
and
put up a
then
thing that's like, this is my old Twitter
Yeah.
account. Go
Yeah.
for here. All right. Yeah.
just send a
Nice.
little-
And you can
send
pin
over.
a tweet now, so it's the first thing that they see if they go there.
Or if it's just the only tweet that you make.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
thinking
it'll
about
be
going
there.
through all the ScrewAttack
whatever.
videos
Or
and just be
whatever.
like, we'll just duel it.
Anyway, we'll have to get it done. I don't
Just-
know. Maybe I'll put a Twitter poll of what the new name should be.
You know it's gonna be sandwich time.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. Like that's like everybody's like, oh, you should be on brand with your Twitch, and I'm like, I don't know why. Like I don't really do that. Like unless I'm dicking around.
You just
Like,
have a great opportunity, like because your name is Sam Mitchell and it's sandwich. Like
I know,
you-
and I do like sandwiches.
I know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it is good.
He knows
It
himself.
is good, but
He doesn't need you to tell him about himself.
So,
Yeah.
just to wrap this up, is there anything you guys want to say?
ScrewAttack was a wild ride. There's a lot of history, and we made a lot of crazy content. Some good, some bad. Made some of my best friends working at this company, and discovered passion I didn't know that I had for like acting and all that stuff, and it's led to just incredibly unbelievable opportunities. Like I can't believe I'm voicing alongside Michael B. Jordan and Dakota Fanning and shit.
Brag
That's-
about it, why
that's
don't you?
insane.
Brag.
That is not me bragging. I am still. Like,
I know it's not, but I'm painting it as though you're
Yeah.
bragging.
No, it's absolutely insane, and thank you guys so much. We couldn't have done this without you. Like the GOing community is the most important thing. Like that was the coolest part about joining ScrewAttack was realizing that this community existed and that they had like just this awesome close knit family. And I talked a little bit of this last night, but it's like internet is such a horrible, toxic place, and like it was so weird coming into a thing that was like this happy, welcoming environment. I remember like a new user would post something on like the forums back in the day that was against the rules, and I was like, I expected the typical like forum things, people just like ragging on and blah, and like people like, oh hey, so I know you didn't realize this, but it's actually against the rules, and like, so this is the way you could have done that, and like everyone was so helpful. And that's the community that stayed. I mean, like they still meet up. I'm, good friends with a bunch of them. Like it's crazy this family that we've built. So thank you guys so much for that.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know what more can be said that
Sorry,
what's that?
I said sorry.
Oh no. Just I think we've all said our piece on this in different places, different ways, but yeah, super proud of everything we accomplished. It was I tweeted this. It was kind of niche. It was rough around the edges, but it was ours, and I'm very proud of that. We are who we are today because of ScrewAttack and all the people who watched it.
I'm gonna rebrand it to ScrewAttack like in a week or something, and just like do that. I'm gonna have a shoe show. No, that's not happening. But I do have something I do need to talk about, and that's Robin Hood. 'Cause
I don't get to
now,
talk
right?
about. Okay.
Well, we're supposed to do this, aren't we?
Yeah. Okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's what I'm gonna talk about.
Maybe
Well, yeah, I mean, the Robin
maybe
Hood was
when we're
coming right
done-
after. Yeah, like
Going right out. No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos all commission-free. While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees. So you can trade stocks and keep all your profits. Plus, there is no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy-to-understand charts, market data, and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. You can also view stock collections, such as the 100 most popular. With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio, discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest. Robinhood is giving listeners of Death Battle Cast a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at battlecast.robinhood.com. Yeah. You can see it right there on the screen.
Go check it out. Yep, battlecast.robinhood.com.
Do that.
Whoa, there we go. We got Nick's hand coming in.
Whoa.
Okay,
In
sorry,
case you
Ben.
couldn't see it.
Would you like
But
to
also,
say
I
anything
found
now?
a note to Miles just sitting here. Hi,
Oh,
Miles.
that's from Backwards Compatible.
There's a big fan thanking you. I hope you did read this. I'll keep it here. Just
I'm sure it's right there because we did it last episode. Yeah.
I love, real quick, but before you go, I love that Sam doesn't like sharing feelings. And so, like, it gets to Sam. It's like, you have anything to say about ScrewAttack that means a
Yeah.
lot? And he's just like, ad read.
I mean, well, like to me, like it literally to me, it's like there's a name change. Like we're all still here. Brian's right there. Gerardo's right there. Like literally nothing changes in my life. Like it's like, oh yeah, new name. Like it's literally if somebody changed their name for me. Like it's like all the people are still there. The community's not gone. Like literally nothing's gone. Like I don't know. Nothing's like changed.
No nostalgia tied to the name, though. Like,
Yeah.
and I think for a lot of people, it's just that the name symbolizes that old content. And even though we weren't making it
Do
before,
you think for one
this was
second that
still-
Sam would be nostalgic over anything?
No, I'm just excited because I still see it as a dormant opportunity. Like I'm like, it'll come back someday. It'll be fucking dope and fun. But yeah, like I don't know. I'm not gonna. Yeah, like I have a lot of nostalgia for the brand, and like obviously this is like somehow, in large part thanks to you, like accidentally turned into a what seems like a lifelong career for me. Is like insane. In like I owe all that to ScrewAttack, but
You know what's
this
crazy,
is
Sam?
ScrewAttack. Still, it's just a different name.
I got you your first job and potentially your last job.
I know. It's wild. Yeah, we'll see.
Wait, your first job? Did you not work at
The first job I ever had was working at a company
Paintball.
that sold like
Airsoft.
airsoft
Airsoft,
and mil
yeah.
sim
Oh.
supply in a warehouse where we built a system that essentially was
Did you
the same
also get him
system
the
ScrewAttack.
airsoft job?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I was the warehouse manager at this airsoft place, and then I got Sam hired because we needed more people, and then but that's right. Like Sam was
So
just
your
saying,
life is just waiting for Chad to get you jobs.
Well, I had a whole
He had a
shit
whole
ton of jobs
shitload in between.
those.
Okay, gotcha.
Like, 'cause that was
right,
like-
because you were okay.
I got that job like that. It was weird because it was like I was, homeschooled and I went and rollerbladed and I played video games. Like those are the three things I do in life. And I went to go sign up for my first semester of college, and I was walking into the building to like do sign-ups and everything, and Chad calls and was like, "You want a job?" And I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm an adult now, shit." Like, and I got a job and signed up for college like in the same day, and I was like, "Well, fucking adult shit now." Like, and it was dope. And then like that job lasted a year, and then I had like a dozen jobs before ScrewAttack, and then so he got me my first job and possibly my last job. We'll see. Time will only tell on that one.
I
I'm
we're still young,
I'm
right?
7.5 years in now, so it's been quite a long time.
We have all been part of this
10 years.
part of this ScrewAttack thing for a long time. I think I'm going on 12 years.
Yeah, you're
Well,
in 12.
your going on is
Almost.
done.
Well, sure, but I mean,
It's the same thing.
I'm still here.
yeah.
Like, and I get what Sam is saying, and I kind of feel the same way to a certain extent. There is certainly a sentimental value that feels like it's being lost by not having the ScrewAttack brand with us anymore. It is not in front of our videos, but at the same time, it's like a giant step where we are moving into a new area of our lives, of our careers, that feels exactly the same in a lot of ways because they're still doing what we were doing yesterday, but it also feels entirely different because we're now tying ourselves even closer to Rooster Teeth and making sure this division or this idea of a division between two companies is no longer here to confuse anybody or to make any kind of issues between the people that we're working with and whatnot. And ScrewAttack was, to me, it feels like a step from, it's like going from, this is going to sound really weird, but it's like graduating in a way. Because like ScrewAttack was an era of experimentation and learning what this internet medium was about, like what we could do with it, what we could make and put on the internet, and what kind of entertainment space it could be, what kind of industry it could be. And now we're moving into an era where our blood is rooster teeth. Mm-hmm. It's no longer blue, it's red.
Like normal humans.
Like normal.
You remember that rumor that got started? That's like your blood is blue until it hits the oxygen and then it turns red.
That.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
We've hit
when
the
they
oxygen
did the
now.
syringe thing, it would be blue.
oh shoot. But yeah, to me it feels like we're just kind of taking another step. It's just kind of like the original full screen acquisition, the original merging with Rooster Teeth. And yeah, the ScrewAttack, that little bolt means a lot to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I've been here for over 11 years, so it does mean a lot to me. But it also means to me something, I feel like it is something that I'm supposed to grow out of in a way. Like, if that makes sense. Like, it's something that and maybe it's because I joined when I was in high school, like you. But it feels like something that I'm meant to step away from in a way that is positive and creates growth and just means that more is available to me, to you guys, to everybody watching. And so I see it as a positive thing, way more than a negative thing. Maybe that's just me.
yeah, we had a good run. Let's all go get bolt tattoos. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm down.
Dude, now I'm considering it. If I get Ben a tattoo,
I'm down. I was actually
Shoot, I'd think about it.
oh!
I think you gotta hide it in something bigger, but yeah.
Yeah, to match your aesthetic, it would.
Well, I just mean in general. Like,
So
if
it's
you're
not
gonna
just a
do it,
lightning bolt?
you should hide the little bolt in something.
Can I point something
Like in
out?
this, like it's hidden in this logo, kind of. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, at the
like,
top.
Yeah.
I think.
this
and
is
I think,
sticking around. The
yeah,
ScrewAttack
I
bolt
think-
is still existing in like a little way.
and I think
which is
future,
fun.
like even from like a merch design opportunity, like if I ever see an opportunity to hide a bolt on a shirt, I'm probably gonna fucking take it still.
Oh, fuck
Like,
yeah.
yeah. Like I mean, why not? But yeah.
There's no animosity in what I'm about to say. No genuine animosity. But
Whoa!
but
Okay.
part of me is a little salty, and this is all in good fun, that ScrewAttack is survived by the irate gamer.
What?
Are you really
He's still
gonna-
around. he's still doing stuff.
Okay, here I'm gonna hit you with one. Who?
Oh, it's
Okay.
Okay.
So it is an old thing. Like there's angry video game nerd back in the day, and then there's irate gamer who a lot of people is like, oh, he's just a ripoff. It is what it is. Whatever. Like he's fine, but
Nick's joking.
it
wanna
is
clarify
a
that.
joke. It is a complete joke.
It's because the community used to say that a lot. It was like a comment we saw a lot on the site. People would.
Chris Boris is cool with me. I just wanted to make a little joke.
What a
Do we
weird.
really want to end our ScrewAttack
What a weird way to
conversation
end
on
this
that?
segment.
Looks like we're gonna have to talk about this for another 10 minutes.
It's over. It's past 1 o'clock. We're
Once
supposed to be
again-
wrapping up the show.
I'm
Still,
real
I'm
hungry.
just trying to sit
not-
there past what
Not
we're supposed to do.
dead or anything. Just a brand that is on the shelf and sleeping for
Sure.
a while.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So, long story short, not a decision made lightly. ScrewAttack will still exist for another month on roosterteeth.com as a channel there. I'm looking at the wrong camera. So you can still find everything there as it is. Across this year, we will be, once the playlist implementation comes into Rooster Teeth, all the old ScrewAttack videos will be organized into playlists so that they are easy to find. Because the number one concern that we had when this was brought up was how will people find the old videos? We do not want the old videos to be deleted. We don't want the old videos to be hard to find or just like shoved into a corner. It's got to all exist. There's a lot of history to ScrewAttack, both good and bad, and vast quantities of both, to be honest.
There's a lot, yeah. Some of them are bad.
But we don't want to get rid of that, and we don't want that to be lost. So that is very much on our minds, and we will continue to make sure that what got us to this point, what got you guys to this point, remains and is always available for everyone. Yeah, and that about wraps that up.
Now let's talk about people fighting each other.
Yeah, it's time for the community death battle.
Oh, we're gonna blaze through this mug.
Well, turns out it might actually be kind of a stomp in the first place.
Was
So,
it Death Battle versus
This,
ScrewAttack?
this was oh god.
Just grind it in, huh?
Sorry.
All right, this death battle, community death battle, was Gipsy Danger versus Ava. Is it 01? How's
I
it?
don't remember. It's been forever.
Red.
since
I don't
I've seen
remember.
it.
I don't remember actually even being named in the show. It's been ages since I saw Evangelion. But
Congratulations.
fucking ending. So as always with community death battle, we leave it up to you guys to send us answers about who should win using hashtag deathbattlecast, and we have an answer for mech sizes. What is this?
So people were confused because they're saying that Gipsy Danger was so tall that it would win. So
Okay,
actually-
I'm gonna skip that,
you can
but
skip it out.
and go to Team Gipsy Danger from Max a Few Trades.
Oh, hey.
One of our researchers.
Yeah.
And he says, Gipsy Danger is a powerhouse of a mech with sword whip arms and rocket-powered punches. It could easily disarm Ava 01, both literally and figuratively. And worst case scenario, it can use the nuclear vortex. Of course, assuming Shenji even gets in the damn thing.
Of course, that has to be that.
Yeah, that's a big one.
But and then we've got an answer for Team Ava from Sarah Court. And Sarah says, an AT field that can easily tank a nuke, GD's strongest weapon?
Gipsy Dangers.
Gipsy Dangers, gotcha, right. And be weaponized with destructive results, plus Unit 01's ability to regenerate, ascend, and go berserk when Shinji is threatened, becoming unstoppable, means two heads aren't better than one.
Great.
I mean, technically, the Ava does kind of have two heads because it is a creature.
Yeah, but it's okay. There's,
And then
whatever.
Shinji inside. But, anyway. All right, so...
So I'm torn because like I want to go with Max because like that guy does his research, but also like I'm thinking like I don't know like Ava's really nimble and that berserk mode is scary as shit. I just see it like jumping up on it and starting ripping shit apart.
Yeah, I mean... I think unfortunately I think Gipsy Danger just doesn't have the weaponry capable of dealing with the speed and the power of the Ava. It's just too much for it, and especially since once it goes berserk, like Gipsy Danger doesn't have anything like that. I guess it can fly. Right?
Did it fly?
Can Gipsy Danger fly?
What?
No, it couldn't fly.
It was
kaiju.
carried up into space.
That was the
by
kaiju.
Yeah.
Right. But it did survive the fall all the way back down. Kind of. Yeah, I think Gipsy Danger is just a little too slow for this.
I'm voting
Eva.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go with it.
Instantaneous. What do you guys think would happen in this fight?
I think it's he's gonna go berserk and start just like ripping shit off the
Yep.
back of Gipsy Danger. But also, I haven't really seen either one. I never saw the second Pacific Rim, and I haven't seen Evangelion
that
in
good.
like a decade probably. So
Since
it's like
I probably showed it to you.
wicked hard. Yeah, I'm kind of confusing which of the Avas do what, but I just remember him going berserk and like killing the fuck out of everything. And
That's
I feel
basically
Yeah.
Yeah.
but then again, Gipsy Danger does save the world from giant hell monsters. So I don't know.
I think the durability difference is kind of what's selling me on it.
Yeah.
Could the nuke? I'm trying to remember what the nuke was. The nuclear power supply that Gipsy Danger has. 'Cause
Isn't
it
it,
destroyed... It didn't destroy the alien world. It destroyed the
rift or whatever.
Yeah, the rift.
The
tunnel.
You remember when you saw that exact scene in Independence Day? Yeah, it did that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Um,
I love Pacific Rim, but it's straight up the story of Independence Day.
it's a better version of Independence Day, to be honest.
but not a better speech. The Independence Day speech was better
Okay, yeah,
than
that's
the Colonel's speech in Gypsy Danger.
I don't
Maybe.
know.
So now we're canceling the apocalypse?
Canceling it's a
Yeah,
better line.
And Idris Elba is a
finishing
better
line.
actor.
Yes.
That's my boy right there. He does everything perfect.
Yeah, I think that line alone and being spoken by Idris Elba
Yeah.
is going to top it for me. That's what this is going to turn into. Which movie has a
is
better
better
speech?
This.
Let us
we
know
will
using
not
hashtag
go
DeathMetalCast.
quietly into the night. Sorry, it's so good.
But yeah, I love it.
This is our Independence Day.
Oh,
Such
God.
a great tie-in from the movie title. Oh man,
I forgot about that.
that's how it ends it.
The title drop kills it for me.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
it was also on Independence Day. That's the thing. It's
Yeah,
like
but-
they're fighting them on the 4th of July. So, like,
Today we're canceling the apocalypse. Like, oh fuck! Like whoever wrote that line was like, oh, that's good. That's good. Like, that's just
Like,
it's fucking
think
great.
about this. Pacific Rim, the movie, made way less cultural impact than Independence Day, the movie. But that line, you can throw that out anywhere, and people be like, fuck yeah. I love that line. I might know what that's from.
Yeah, it's just a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so good.
can that
And
be our next community death battle? Which
No, I
speech is
mean-
better?
That'll be our bonus community death
All right,
battle.
fine.
How about that? We'll
Sounds
do a little
good.
bonus thing.
Well, let's see who won
Let
this
us
one.
know which speech you think is better, the Pacific Rim canceling the apocalypse or the Independence Day speech. All right, so let's see from you guys the poll. Find out who wins this. Oh,
Eva.
look, it's Ava.
Eva.
Eva.
It's
Whatever.
Uva. It's
Uva Boll.
Uva
Uva
Boll.
Boll.
Let's not
It's
get
Uva
there.
Boll.
God.
All
You
right.
gotta stop conversations. You can't
Yes.
get into Uva Bowl right
I
now.
know.
Oh God.
right, we win.
Yeah, we got to wrap this up and get into Sudden Death, our first exclusive show, but post show. But next week's community death battle, in honor of the Mega Man death battle that is coming up, we are doing Rush from Mega Man versus the Blade Wolf that belonged to Raiden in Metal Gear.
Oh.
That seems like that Blade Wolf is gonna shit on that dog. Like,
Do we get to use like all Rush feats, like cartoon and comics?
Sure, why not? I
Okay.
mean, it's not like Rush has that many feeds from the game,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
yeah, like
shows
what?
up.
Yeah, no, it's like he's gonna
He can
well,
be
he's
a
running.
platform. Like, I don't know. Like,
I just picture Rush. He just goes down, and then the wolf hits the spring. He's launched like off a cliff or some shit.
Yeah, so Rush versus Blade Wolf. Let us know using hashtag DeathBattleCast who you think would win in a death battle. And we will have a poll on the Death Battle Twitter. Oh, that's weird to say. On the Death Battle Twitter this upcoming week where you can vote on who you think should win. And then we will cover it in next week's Death Battle Cast episode. All right.
See you guys then.
Yeah. Thanks for
Later.
joining us.